This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and today I would like to let you know that I became a father. My beautiful partner got me a brand new puppy for my birthday, so now I have responsibilities or something like that. It's a miniature schnauzer called Petey, P-E-A-T, Y, if you want to call him Petey. He's a good boy. If you want to see more of him, which I'm pretty sure you do if you're, a normal human being, you should definitely go to my Instagram, at ddnix. I won't do too much puppy spam, promise, won't be that guy, but he is adorable. Anyway, let's get on track. So, oftentimes, I will sit here and I'm thinking, like, what should I talk about today? I mean, 5 podcasts a week, I have a lot of conversations, especially through coaching conversations and conversations at the gym with both clients and my team. Conversations with my partner, a lot of the books that I'm reading. In the last week and a half, I haven't really had any of that. And so sometimes I will sit here and I'll be like, okay, what am I going to speak about today? And nothing really came to mind today, which is very interesting. And sometimes I'll go back over Instagram and saying if there's something that I've posted that's relevant or something I can talk about, whatever, anything around that. And, just the other day I posted, speak only if it improves the silence, which I felt was extremely relevant for this podcast in particular, because that, I remember reading that many years ago, and I was like, yeah, but I definitely didn't embody it, right? I definitely didn't embody it. And it took me a long time to be comfortable with silence. And it's really interesting because it's important we understand silence and being silent are two different things, right? Silence is just emptiness. It's just witnessing. It's just that's the deeper levels of meditation or whatever, but it's literally just being able to be and observe whatever is occurring and whatever's not occurring. Whereas being silent is actually an action. You go from observing, which is an action, just quietly, to being silent, which means you're just not saying anything. And that's a really different thing. So being comfortable with silence is being comfortable observing, reality unfolding, observing your thoughts drift past, observing the feelings and emotions, which is energy and motion, arise and pass and all that sort of stuff. And that's beautiful. And so oftentimes, and it took me, like I said, a long time to really get it, it's like, well, speak, but only if it improves the silence. The silence is always there. We're just often disturbing it. Right? Because the silence is always there. And that's where a lot of the time, if we're just like go, our thoughts, and we sort of check right into the fucking matrix and we just can't stop thinking about paying bills, getting to work, doing this job for that person. What does this person think about me? Got to get that done. Have to do this, put money aside, make sure Christmas is coming up, all this sort of stuff. We're plugged fully into that. There's no silence is still there. We're just so plugged into the matrix. The matrix is do you know the matrix means womb? Did you know that, by the way? The matrix means womb. And have a think about that with the movie, right? Have a think about that for a second. But the matrix means a womb, which is phenomenal, but it also fits with matrices. Anyway, and so when we're plugged into that, even though silence is there, we're so disengage from that silence, that there's just white noise constantly, and that becomes the norm. And it becomes the norm, and then we try to go to something like yoga or meditation, and I just can't turn my head off. It's not about turning your head off, mate. It's about stepping out of the noise and seeing it rather than being it, right? I can't turn my head off is I am being the noise, right? And when we can shift, and it takes time, and know about that, well, shift, okay, I'll shift, yeah, okay. Know of it, know about it, relate with it, then embody it. It takes time to move through those 4 stages, but that's the practice that we have to go through. And if someone's telling you that they've got a quick fucking NLP strategy or technique or this to just break through that shit, they don't know real work. That's the thing. It's like, well, you don't believe, Dave. It's like, no. There's work. There's a difference between waking up and growing up. And there's a big difference in those two things. And when we can really establish and understand that, then we start to only speak when it improves the silence, because we're comfortable in the silence, because we are the silence. And so we speak to improve it rather than, speak because we're uncomfortable with the silence, which a lot of people will do. A lot of people will do that. I for years I would do it, and I still have found myself doing it even in recent times. Making a joke to avoid nervousness, not realizing I was so fucking good at it, I didn't even realize I was doing it. It's phenomenal. And then seeing what that was attached to it in when I was younger, crazy. And seeing how that served me and when it didn't serve me, etc., etc. And so being able to have people around us that can call us on that bullshit in the subtle, silent ways that they can do it is really, it's both the most confronting and the most, if we're willing to do the work, relieving things that we can have around us. And so this is something that I encourage you to really consider, is to really learn to be comfortable with the silence. Not to be silent. That's a little bit different. And as you play with that, if you choose to, it's my offer, then that'll make more sense to you as it does to you. Not in the same way it does to me, because it can't. We're both, you and I are both going through our own subjective experience, and we're labeling it with our own subjectiveness that we've developed over years. And so this is why people go, I just tell it how it is. It's like, you can't tell it how it is, mate, because it's layered with just subjective biases. Your observation of objective reality is layered with so many biased subjectiveness. You don't know what the truth is. You know a truth. Now, there's a legal truth and all that sort of stuff. I get that. But the thing is that legality, as useful as it is man-made. Reality's not. And there's a big difference in that. And it's not saying one's more important than the other. It's just seeing it, for fuck's sake, for what it is and for what it's not. And see, when we start doing this, we step out of the matrix and we start to choose how we want to play. We start to choose how we want to participate. And this is when, we start going, I'm not going to deal with this kind of behavior anymore. And I'm not going to deal with it in myself first. That's where it's got to start. And I'm not going to deal with it in other people, right? But we have to first not deal with it. If you see people like going, oh my fucking God, I can't believe the person does that. If they're judging, they're actually judging themselves. Often it's a shadow, right, of something that they're not aware that they're actually doing, that they are doing. They're just doing it in different areas. And pay attention to this for yourself. If you're getting judgy or angry about someone else and something that they're doing, are you doing it? Right? Here's an example. It's like, that person never shows me that they love me. It's like, okay, and what about, I always show them that I love them. It's like, okay, so what is love? It sounds like it's conditional. It sounds like you and him or you and her are just on the same fucking spectrum, just on other ends. It's the same thing though. They're not different, right? I can't have a front without having a back. I can't have two fronts, right? It's the same fucking thing. The person is transactional and conditional in their love for somebody, and then complaining what that person doesn't have this transactional, conditional love for them. It's like, come on, hello. Sit with that for a while. Anyway, team, that's it. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening to me interrupting the silence. As always, if you haven't already, check out Mood Prep Online on Facebook. It's a free group. We have a book club starting there. Now it's the 2nd of January. We're kicking that off. And otherwise, yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Until tomorrow, peace and pizza. Kick today in the dick. Slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.